My mother said the family group chat was just quiet, so I checked it. I wasn't removed, I was muted. Scrolling up, I saw plans, jokes, decisions, all made without me. I sat in my truck in the parking lot of the distribution center where I'd worked for the last 17 years. The phone screen glowed in the dim light of early morning. The message history went back weeks. Months, maybe. I kept scrolling. There was my son, Dylan, asking about Thanksgiving plans. My daughter, Melissa, responding with 3 paragraphs about dietary restrictions. Dylan's girlfriend, Becca, sending gifts. Melissa's boyfriend, Josh, weighing in on whether to do dinner at 2 or 4. I wasn't tagged, not once. But I remembered Thanksgiving. I remembered showing up at Melissa's apartment with the folding tables she'd asked me to bring. She'd texted me directly for that. "Dad, can you grab those tables from the garage? Need them by 1. I'd driven across town, carried them up 3 flights of stairs because the elevator was broken. She'd thanked me, distracted, already turning back to her kitchen. I kept scrolling. There was a conversation about a concert in September. They'd all gone. Dylan had posted photos afterward. I'd seen them on his public feed and assumed I just hadn't been invited. Now I could see the planning, the group decision, the jokes about whether Josh would cry during the encore. I searched for my name in the chat. Found it once. 6 months ago. "Is your dad still doing that thing where he sends articles at 6 a.m.? Melissa. "Oh my God, yes. I muted him months ago." Becca. "Same. Love him, but the constant forwards." Dylan. "He means well?" That was it. That was the last time they mentioned me. I locked my phone, looked up at the warehouse. The lights were on inside. My shift started in 20 minutes. I was the facility's supervisor. I made sure the conveyors ran, the loading docks stayed clear, the safety equipment got inspected. I was good at my job. People relied on me. My family had muted me. The phone buzzed. A text from Dylan. Direct message, not the group. "Hey Dad, can you help me move a couch on Saturday? Becca's friend is giving us one, but we need a truck." I stared at it. Didn't respond. Put the phone in my pocket and got out of the truck. Inside, the warehouse was chaos. One of the conveyor belts had jammed overnight. The early crew was standing around it like it might fix itself through observation. I walked over, popped the access panel, cleared the jam, restarted the system. It hummed back to life. "Thanks, boss," someone said. I nodded, moved on to the next problem. My phone buzzed twice more during my shift, both from Dylan. The second one said, "You good? Need the truck by noon Saturday." I didn't answer. At lunch, I sat in my truck again, opened the group chat. They were talking about Christmas now. Melissa wanted to do a Secret Santa, budget of $50. Dylan said that was too much. Josh suggested $30. Becca sent a poll. I scrolled past weeks of messages. Birthday plans for Melissa that I'd known nothing about until she posted photos. A group decision to split the cost of a gift for my mother, their grandmother, that I'd never been asked to contribute to. Jokes about me? Not mean, exactly. Just casual, dismissive. "Your dad's still wearing those cargo shorts?" Every single day. At least he's consistent. Laughing emojis. I closed the app, opened my text conversation with my wife, Linda, sent her a screenshot of the group chat, then another, then a third. She called immediately. "Where are you?" she asked. "Work." "Come home." "I'm on shift until 6. "Then come home at 6. Don't stop anywhere. Don't talk to them if they call." I wasn't planning to. She was quiet for a moment. Then, "How long have you known?" "Since this morning." "Good. I was worried you'd known for a while and just hadn't told me." "You knew?" "I suspected. Melissa hasn't asked me about you in months. And when I mention you, she changes the subject." I watched a forklift driver navigate between pallets. Precise. Careful. No wasted movement. "What do I do?" I asked. "Nothing yet. Come home. We'll talk." She hung up. The rest of the shift dragged. I kept my phone in my locker. Focused on work, approved a parts order, mediated a dispute about overtime scheduling, signed off on a safety report. At 6, I clocked out. Drove home. Linda was in the kitchen. She'd made coffee, which meant she wanted to have a long conversation. I sat down at the table. She poured 2 cups, slid one across to me. "Show me everything," she said. I handed her my phone. She scrolled for 10 minutes without speaking. Her face didn't change. She was good at that. 26 years of marriage, and I still couldn't always read her. Finally, she put the phone down. "They're using you," she said. "I know." "No, I mean they're actively using you. This isn't neglect. Look at the pattern. They mute you. They ignore you. But the second they need something, they text you directly, and you do it. I thought about the tables, the couch request, a dozen other things over the past year. So, what do I do? What do you want to do? I didn't answer right away. I drank my coffee. It was too hot. I kept drinking it anyway. I don't know, I said. I'm angry. You should be. But they're my kids. They're adults. They made a choice. You don't get to make choices without consequences just because you're someone's kid. She leaned back in her chair, studied me. You're the person people call when things break, she said. At work, in this family, you fix things, you show up, you don't complain, and now they've decided they don't need to include you as long as you're still useful. So I stopped being useful. That's one option. What's the other option? She smiled. It wasn't a kind smile. You stopped being useful at exactly the wrong time. My phone buzzed on the table. Dylan again. Dad, seriously, I need to know about Saturday. Linda picked up the phone, handed it to me. Don't answer yet, she said. Let him wait. Let him wonder. In the meantime, tell me about Saturday. What's he moving? A couch. From where to where? I don't know. He didn't say. Does he have anyone else who can help? Probably not. That's why he's asking me. She nodded slowly. What time does he need the truck? Noon. Perfect. Let him think you're coming. Then don't show up. I stared at her. That's cruel. Is it? More cruel than muting your father while still expecting him to drop everything for you? She had a point. What if there's a reason? I asked. What if I'm missing something? Then they'll tell you when they need something badly enough. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Melissa. Dad, Dylan said you're not answering. Are you okay? I showed Linda the message. She laughed. Actually laughed. Look at that. Now they're worried. You've been reliable for so long that one afternoon of silence and they panic. Maybe I should just talk to them. And say what? Hey kids, I noticed you muted me in the family chat. Then they apologize. Maybe they add you back. Maybe they don't. Either way, nothing changes. They'll just be more careful about what they say where you can see it. She was right. I knew she was right. What's your play here? I asked. I don't have one. This is your call. I'm just telling you what I see. You've been edited out of their lives except when they need labor or money or access to something you have. That's not a relationship. That's a service provider. I sat there for a long time. The coffee went cold. Linda got up and started making dinner. I could hear her in the kitchen, chopping vegetables, running water. My phone buzzed twice more, both from Dylan, then once from Melissa, then Becca, then Josh. The whole family chain activating because I wasn't responding fast enough. I picked up the phone, opened the messages, read them all. Then I opened the family group chat. I wasn't muted in my view of it. I could see everything they said. I just couldn't participate unless someone tagged me directly, which they never did. I scrolled back further, found the conversation from July where they'd planned a beach weekend, all of them. They'd coordinated schedules, booked a house, split the cost. I'd never known about it. But 2 weeks before that trip, Dylan had asked to borrow my camping gear. I'd given it to him, assumed he was going somewhere with Becca. I closed the app. Linda came back into the room, set a plate in front of me. Eat, she said. I ate. The food was good. It was always good. Linda was a better cook than I deserved. I'm not going to help him on Saturday, I said. She nodded. Okay. I'm not going to answer any of them tonight. Okay. And I'm going to start paying attention, really paying attention, to when they need me versus when they want me around. There's a difference? I'm going to find out. My phone was still buzzing. I turned it off, finished my dinner, helped Linda clean up. We watched TV for a while, some crime show she liked. I couldn't focus on it. My mind kept going back to the group chat, to all those messages, all those plans, all that life happening without me. Around 11, I turned my phone back on. 23 messages, 3 missed calls, 1 voicemail. I listened to the voicemail. Dylan's voice, annoyed. Dad, come on. It's not a big deal. Just let me know if you can help Saturday. I've got other people I can ask, but you're closer and you have the truck. Call me back. Other people he could ask, but he'd asked me first. Because I was convenient. Because I always said yes. I deleted the voicemail, opened my text conversation with Dylan, typed a response. Can't do Saturday. Something came up. I hit send before I could change my mind. The reply came in less than a minute. Are you serious? I've been waiting all day for an answer. I put the phone down, walked upstairs, got ready for bed. Linda was already under the covers, reading. "Did you answer him?" she asked. "Yeah." "What did you say?" I said no. She put her book down, looked at me. "How do you feel?" "Terrible." "Good. That means you're not used to it yet. You will be." I got into bed, turned off the light, lay there in the dark. My phone lit up on the nightstand. Another message from Dylan. I didn't read it. Linda rolled over, put her hand on my shoulder. "You're doing the right thing," she said. "Am I? Ask me again in a week." I closed my eyes, tried to sleep. Couldn't. All I could see was that group chat, all those messages, all those plans made without me, all those jokes at my expense. And I kept thinking about what Linda had said. They'd muted me, but they'd kept me around. Not removed, just silenced, because they still needed me, just not enough to include me. I lay there until morning, watching the ceiling, making lists in my head. Lists of every time in the past year I'd helped them with something. Every favor, every errand, every time I'd dropped everything because they asked. The list was long, and I couldn't remember the last time any of them had done something for me, not that I'd asked. I never asked. Maybe that was the problem. Or maybe the problem was that I'd been too easy, too available, too willing to be used. By the time the sun came up, I'd made my decision. I wasn't going to cut them off. That would be too obvious, too dramatic. I was just going to stop being quite so available, stop being quite so reliable, and I was going to pay attention, really pay attention, to who they were when they thought I wasn't watching. Because somewhere in the back of my mind, a new question had formed. If they could mute me this easily, what else were they hiding? Saturday morning, I went to the hardware store, bought some things I didn't need, took my time. Linda came with me. We had breakfast at the diner on the corner, lingered over coffee, my phone stayed in my pocket. At noon, when I was supposed to be helping Dylan move a couch, I was standing in the lumber aisle trying to decide between two types of wood stain. "He's calling," Linda said. I glanced at my phone screen. Dylan's name flashing. I declined the call. "Now he's texting," she said. I didn't look. We drove home slowly, took the long route, stopped for gas even though the tank was 3/4 full. By the time we got back, it was almost 2. I finally checked my phone. 11 messages from Dylan, 3 from Becca, 2 from Melissa. Dylan's messages started frustrated and escalated to angry. The last one just said, "Thanks for nothing." Melissa's were concerned. "Dad, are you okay? Dylan says you bailed on him." Becca's were passive-aggressive. "Really thought you'd be more reliable than this. Dylan's been stressed all week." I sat in the truck in the driveway. Read them all twice. Linda was watching me. "What are you thinking?" she asked. "That they're mad because I did exactly what they've been doing to me for months." "Yep. Except when they do it, it's fine. When I do it, I'm unreliable." Welcome to being unappreciated. I got out of the truck, went inside, changed into work clothes, went down to the basement where I had a small workshop, started a project I'd been putting off, rebuilding the carburetor on an old lawnmower. An hour later, Dylan called again. I let it ring. 20 minutes after that, Linda came downstairs. "Melissa's here," she said. I looked up from the workbench. "Here is in the driveway or here is in the house." "Kitchen." I put down my tools, wiped my hands on a rag. "You want me there?" Linda asked. "Please." We went upstairs together. Melissa was sitting at the kitchen table. She looked tired. Her hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail. She was wearing yoga pants and an oversized sweatshirt. She looked up when I walked in. "Hey, Dad." "Hey. Can we talk?" I pulled out a chair, sat down across from her. Linda stayed standing by the counter. "What's going on?" Melissa asked. "Dylan said you blew him off today." I told him I couldn't help. "He said you waited until the last minute to tell him." "He asked me 6 days ago. I answered him 3 days ago. That's not last minute." She frowned. "He said you normally would have helped." "I normally do a lot of things." "What does that mean?" I leaned back in my chair, looked at my daughter. She had my eyes and Linda's mouth and her grandmother's stubborn chin. "When's my birthday?" I asked. She blinked. "What? My birthday, when is it?" "Dad, come on." "Just answer the question." "March 14th? 16th. She flushed slightly. "Okay, so I was 2 days off. When's the last time you called me just to talk? Not to ask for something, just to see how I'm doing." She didn't answer right away. "I don't know, a few weeks ago. Try 6 months." "That's not fair. I've been busy." "I know. I see all the things you're busy with. The group chat's very informative. Her face changed, just slightly, a tightening around her eyes. You're mad about the group chat. I'm not mad. You sound mad. Linda made a small noise from the counter, not quite a laugh. Melissa glanced at her, then back at me. Dad, look. We weren't trying to exclude you. It's just, the chat gets overwhelming sometimes. We needed space to plan things without me? Without everyone weighing in on every little thing. I see. So you muted me so you could talk freely. It's not like that. What's it like? She stood up. You know what? I came here to see if you were okay. Dylan said you were acting weird. Now I see he was right. I'm acting weird because I said no to something? You never say no. Maybe I should start? She stared at me. What's that supposed to mean? It means I'm tired of being convenient. I'm tired of being the person you call when you need something but don't include when you're making plans. That's not true. Really? When's the last time you invited me to something, not asked me to help with something, invited me to actually participate? She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. We invited you to Thanksgiving. You asked me to bring tables. You still came for dinner. After I carried your furniture up 3 flights of stairs. Her face was red now. So you're keeping score? That's what this is? No, I'm just finally noticing what's been happening. And what's been happening? You've edited me out of your life except when you need free labor. She grabbed her purse off the table. I don't have to listen to this. No, you don't. You can leave. You can mute me. You can pretend I don't exist except when it's convenient. But you don't get to be angry when I do the same thing back. She walked toward the door, stopped, turned back. You know what your problem is? You think you're this great dad who does everything for everyone and never gets appreciated. But maybe we don't include you because you make everything about yourself. Maybe we needed space because you're exhausting. Then stop asking me for favors. Fine, I will. She left. The door slammed hard enough to rattle the dishes in the cabinet. I sat there staring at the table. Linda came over, put her hand on my shoulder. That went well, she said. She's furious. She's defensive. There's a difference. Did I make a mistake? Depends. Do you feel better or worse? I thought about it. Both. That's how you know you did the right thing. My phone buzzed. Dylan. What the hell did you say to Melissa? She's crying. I showed Linda. She read it and shook her head. Don't answer. She's upset. She's upset because she got called out. Let her be upset. She'll survive. I put the phone down. Went back to the basement. Tried to focus on the carburetor. Couldn't. My hands were shaking. Linda came down an hour later. You okay? She asked. No. Good answer. Why is everyone acting like I'm the bad guy here? Because you changed the pattern. People don't like that, especially when the pattern was benefiting them. I'm not trying to punish them. Aren't you? I looked up at her. You think I am? I think you're hurt, and you're doing what hurt people do. You're protecting yourself. If they see that as punishment, that's their problem. What if I'm wrong? What if there's an explanation I'm not seeing? Then they'll explain it, but they haven't. They've just gotten defensive and angry. That tells you something. She was right. She was always right. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Becca. You need to apologize to Melissa. She's really upset. This isn't like you. I deleted the message. Linda saw my face. What now? Becca thinks I need to apologize. For what? For upsetting Melissa. Did you call her names? Threaten her? Throw something at her? No. Then you have nothing to apologize for. You stated facts. She didn't like them. I put the phone in my pocket. Forced myself to focus on the work in front of me. Small parts, precise movements. I could control this. Around 6, Linda called me up for dinner. I washed my hands, came upstairs. The kitchen table was set, just 2 places. It felt strange. Usually there'd be at least one of them here by now, Linda said, reading my mind. Dylan comes by most Saturdays around this time. Melissa usually stops by Sundays. You think they'll stop coming around? For a while, until they need something. We ate in silence. After, we cleaned up together. Fell into our old rhythm. She washed. I dried. You know what's weird? I said. I thought this would feel worse. Does it feel good? No, but it doesn't feel as bad as I expected. That's because you were already mourning the relationship. You just didn't realize it yet. The doorbell rang. We both froze. I'll get it, Linda said. She went to the door. I heard voices. Linda's, calm and neutral. A man's voice. Josh. She came back to the kitchen. Josh followed. He looked uncomfortable, hands in his pockets, not quite making eye contact. "Hey," he said. "Hey, can we talk? Just for a minute?" I glanced at Linda. She nodded slightly and left the room. Josh sat down at the table. I stayed standing. "Dundu, Melissa asked me to come," he said. I figured. "She's really upset?" "So I heard. Look, I don't really know what happened. She just said you guys fought. But I've known you for 3 years now, and you're not the kind of person who starts fights." I didn't say anything. "So I'm thinking there's more to this story," he continued. "And maybe if you talk to her? Did she send you here to mediate?" "No, I came because I wanted to. She doesn't even know I'm here." That was interesting. Josh was usually Melissa's shadow. Went where she went, said what she said. This was different. I sat down across from him. "What do you want to know?" "The truth. What happened?" So I told him. About the group chat. About being muted. About all the times they'd needed me but never included me. He listened without interrupting. When I finished, he was quiet for a long time. "I didn't know about the muting thing," he said finally. "Really? I mean, I knew there was a family chat I wasn't in. Melissa mentioned it sometimes, but I didn't know you were muted in it." "Well, now you do. That's pretty messed up." "That's what I thought." He rubbed his face. "Okay, so what happens now?" "I don't know. I stopped being available, I guess. Stopped being the person they use when they need something." "That's going to make things awkward." "Things are already awkward." He nodded slowly. "Yeah, fair point." He stood up. "For what it's worth, I don't think you're wrong. I just think, I don't know, Melissa's not going to see it that way." "I know. She's going to dig in, get defensive, make this into something bigger than it is." "Probably. And Dylan's going to back her up because that's what he does." "I figured." Josh moved toward the door, stopped, turned back. "You know, I always liked coming over here. Your house felt different than anywhere else. Stable, calm, like nothing bad could happen here." "Things change." "Yeah, they do." He left. Linda came back into the kitchen. "That was unexpected," she said. "He seems like a decent guy." "He is. Melissa doesn't deserve him." "That's harsh." "Is it? She sent him to negotiate for her instead of coming herself. She's using him the same way she uses you." I hadn't thought of it that way. But Linda was right. Again. My phone buzzed. I ignored it. "You need to check that eventually," Linda said. "I know." But I didn't want to, because I knew what I'd find. More messages, more accusations, more people telling me I was wrong for finally standing up for myself. The phone buzzed twice more in quick succession, then stopped. I picked it up. Group chat. Someone had tagged me. "Dylan. Dad, we need to talk about what happened today. This isn't okay." Melissa. "Agreed. This whole thing is out of hand." Becca. "Maybe we should all just take a breath and talk this through like adults." Josh. "Not sure this is the right forum for this conversation." Dylan. "Josh, stay out of it." Melissa. "Yeah, this is family stuff." And there it was. I was tagged. I was visible. Because now they needed me to respond. Now they needed to control the narrative. I typed a response. "Nothing to discuss. I told Dylan I couldn't help. That's it?" Dylan. "That's not it. You've been acting weird all week." "I haven't been acting any differently than usual." Melissa. "Yes, you have. You won't answer calls. You're being passive-aggressive." I answered Dylan's text. I told him no. That's not passive-aggressive. That's direct communication. Becca. "But you usually help. He was counting on you." He should have had a backup plan. Dylan. "This is bullshit. You're my dad. You're supposed to be there when I need you." I stared at that message for a long time. Linda was reading over my shoulder. "Don't," she said quietly. But I was already typing. "I'm your dad, not your employee. Figure out the difference." I put the phone down, face down on the table. "That was harsh," Linda said. "Was it wrong?" "No, just harsh." The phone started buzzing continuously. Message after message. I didn't pick it up. Linda did. Read through them. Put it back down. "They're calling you selfish," she said. "Of course they are." "Melissa wants you to apologize to Dylan." "Not happening." "Dylan says you're having a midlife crisis." That almost made me laugh. "Maybe I am." "Becca says she's disappointed in you." "She can join the club." Linda sat down next to me. "You okay?" "Ask me tomorrow." We sat there in the kitchen as the phone continued buzzing. Eventually it stopped, then started again. Stopped, started. I turned it off. "What's the plan?" Linda asked. "I don't have one." "Yes, you do. You're just afraid to say it out loud." She was right. I did have a plan. It was forming in my head, piece by piece. "I'm going to stop helping them," I said. "Not forever. Just until they figure out what they actually want from me." "And if they don't figure it out?" "Then I guess I'll know where I stand." She nodded. "I can live with that." We went to bed early. I lay there in the dark, thinking about the group chat, about all those messages, about the way they'd turned on me the second I stopped being useful. Linda was asleep next to me. I could hear her breathing, steady, calm. I thought about Josh's words, about how our house felt safe, stable. But maybe that stability had been a lie. Maybe I'd been holding everything together while they slowly pulled away. And now that I'd let go, even just a little, everything was falling apart. Or maybe it had been falling apart all along, and I was just too busy being useful to notice. Either way, something had shifted, something fundamental, and I didn't know if it could be fixed, or if I even wanted to fix it anymore. Thursday morning, Melissa showed up at the house. I was in the garage, organizing tools, heard her car in the driveway. Linda met her at the door. I could hear their voices. Linda's low and calm, Melissa's rising. Then Linda came to get me. "She wants to talk," Linda said. "I'm busy." "She's not leaving until you do." I put down the wrench I was holding, followed Linda inside. Melissa was in the living room. She looked angry, arms crossed, jaw set. "You've been avoiding me," she said. "I've been busy." "Too busy for your daughter?" "Apparently I'm too busy for everyone these days." "Dylan said you followed him." "He followed me, actually." "He said you won't talk to him." "We talked yesterday." "No, you lectured him. Then you drove away." I sat down on the couch. She stayed standing. "What do you want, Melissa?" "I want you to stop whatever this is. This is me living my life. No, this is you punishing us for something we don't even understand." "You understand. You just don't want to admit it." "Admit what?" "That you've been using me. That you muted me in the family chat while still expecting me to drop everything whenever you needed help." She rolled her eyes. "We've been over this. The chat thing wasn't personal." "Then what was it?" "It was practical. You send too many messages. You comment on everything. We needed space to plan things without every little detail being debated. So instead of talking to me about it, you just silenced me." "Yes, because we knew you'd make it a big deal." "And I was right to." "No, you weren't. You're being dramatic." I stood up. "I'm being dramatic? You've been making family plans without me for months. You've been mocking me behind my back. You've been excluding me from everything except the parts where you need my help. And I'm dramatic for noticing?" "We weren't mocking you." "Really? What about the jokes about my cargo shorts, about my schedule, about how I send too many messages?" "Those were jokes. They weren't meant to hurt you." But they did." "Then you're too sensitive." Linda made a noise from the doorway. Melissa glanced at her. "Stay out of this, Linda." "This is my house," Linda said calmly. "I'll stay where I want." Melissa turned back to me. "I came here to fix this, to have an actual conversation, but you're not interested in that. You just want to be the victim." "I'm not playing victim. I'm setting boundaries. By refusing to help your son move a couch? By ignoring all our messages? By making everyone worry about you? No one was worried about me until I stopped being useful. That's not true. Isn't it? When's the last time anyone asked how I was doing before I stopped answering my phone?" She didn't answer. "Exactly," I said. "You don't care how I am. You care that I'm not doing what you want." "I do care." "Prove it." "How?" "Tell me one thing about my life that doesn't involve you." She stared at me. Same blank look Dylan had given me yesterday. "See?" I said. "You can't, because you don't know, because you don't ask." "Okay, fine. I don't ask enough. I'm a terrible daughter. Is that what you want to hear?" "I want you to be honest." "I am being honest. I'm admitting I could be better. What else do you want?" "I want you to actually mean it." "I do mean it." "No, you don't. You're just saying what you think will make this go away. But you don't actually see what you did wrong." She threw her hands up. "Then explain it to me, because apparently I'm too stupid to figure it out on my own." "You're not stupid. You're just selfish." Her face went white, then red. "Get out," I said quietly. "What?" "Get out of my house." "You're kicking me out?" "You called yourself stupid. You're putting words in my mouth. You're not here to fix anything. You're here to make me feel guilty, so I'll go back to doing what you want. I'm not interested, so yes, I'm asking you to leave. Dad. Now, Melissa. She grabbed her purse, walked to the door, turned back. You're going to regret this, she said. Maybe, but at least I'll regret it on my own terms. She left. The door didn't slam this time. It closed quietly. Somehow that was worse. Linda came into the room, sat down next to me. You okay? No. Want to talk about it? Not really, she nodded. We sat there in silence. My phone started buzzing. I ignored it. It kept buzzing, message after message. I turned it off. They're rallying, Linda said. Let them. This is going to get worse before it gets better. You keep saying that? Because it keeps being true. I went back to the garage, tried to work, couldn't focus. Everything I touched felt wrong. Screwdriver slipped, dropped a wrench on my foot, finally gave up and just sat on the workbench, staring at nothing. Linda came out an hour later with sandwiches. Eat, she said. I ate. It tasted like cardboard. You're second-guessing yourself, she said. Yeah. Don't. What if I'm wrong? What if I'm making this worse? You're not wrong. You're just not used to standing your ground. Maybe I should apologize, smooth things over. And then what? Go back to how things were? At least then they'd be talking to me. They're only not talking to you because you stopped doing what they wanted. That tells you everything you need to know. She was right. I knew she was right. But knowing didn't make it easier. Friday at work, my supervisor pulled me aside. You okay, man? You seem off this week. Family stuff. Anything serious? Depends on your definition of serious. He nodded. Let me know if you need time off. I'm fine. But I wasn't fine. I was distracted, angry, hurt, a dozen other things I couldn't name. At lunch, I turned my phone back on. 47 messages, most from Melissa and Dylan, a few from Becca, one from Josh. I opened Josh's first. Hey, not trying to get in the middle of anything, just wanted to say I think you're handling this better than most people would. Hang in there. Simple, direct, no drama, I almost replied. Didn't. Instead, I scrolled through the other messages. Dylan was cycling through anger and guilt. One message calling me unreasonable, the next apologizing, then back to anger. Melissa's messages were colder, more calculated. She was building a case, documenting my behavior, creating a narrative where I was the villain. Becca's messages were mostly just confused. She didn't understand what was happening and wanted someone to explain it to her. I closed the app, put the phone away. That night, Linda and I went out to dinner, something we hadn't done in months, maybe longer. We went to a quiet place downtown, sat in a corner booth, ordered wine. This is nice, she said. Yeah. When's the last time we did this? I don't remember. That's the problem. We've been so busy managing everyone else's lives that we forgot about our own. She was right. Again. What do you want? I asked. What do you mean? From all this. From me. What do you want to happen? She thought about it. Sipped her wine. I want you to be happy, she said. And you haven't been happy in a long time. I didn't realize. I know, that's part of the problem. You've been so focused on being what everyone else needs that you forgot what you need. What do I need? I can't answer that for you. We ate our dinner, talked about other things, work, the house, plans for the weekend. It felt good. Normal. Like we were people again, not just parents. On the way home, I got a call from my mother. I let it go to voicemail. She called again. I declined it. Linda glanced at my phone. You're going to have to deal with her eventually. I know. She's not going to let this go. I know that too. We got home. The house was dark, empty, quiet. It should have felt peaceful. Instead, it felt hollow. Saturday morning, I woke up to someone pounding on the door. I looked at the clock. 6:30. Linda groaned. Who the hell? I got up, went downstairs, looked through the peephole. Dylan and Melissa and Becca, all three of them standing on my porch. I opened the door. What are you doing here? We need to talk, Dylan said. It's 6:30 in the morning. Yeah, well, you won't answer your phone. So we came here. I'm not doing this right now. Yes, you are. Melissa pushed past me into the house. Dylan and Becca followed. I stood there in my pajamas, door still open, wondering when I'd lost control of my own home. Linda came downstairs, saw them, saw me. Want me to call the police? She asked calmly. No, Melissa said. We're family. Family doesn't show up uninvited at dawn, Linda replied. We wouldn't have to if he'd just talked to us. I closed the door. You have 5 minutes. We need more than 5 minutes. That's what you get. Dylan stepped forward. Dad, this has gone on long enough. Whatever we did, whatever you think we did, we're sorry. We want to fix it. I've heard that before. This time we mean it. How do I know that? Because we're here, all of us, together. You're here because I forced you to be, not because you actually want to fix anything. Melissa made a frustrated noise. What do you want from us? Seriously. Just tell us what you want and we'll do it. I want you to treat me like I matter. We do. No, you don't. You treat me like a service you subscribe to, available when needed, invisible otherwise. That's not true, Becca said quietly. I looked at her. You're only here because Dylan dragged you here. This doesn't concern you. She's my girlfriend. It concerns her. No, it doesn't. This is between me and my children. She's just along for the ride. Becca's face flushed. She looked at Dylan. He didn't defend her. Interesting. Look, Dylan said. We get it. We haven't been great. We've taken you for granted. We're sorry. What else do you want? I want you to leave. What? You showed up uninvited. You barged into my house. You're demanding I fix your feelings. I want you to leave. We're not leaving until we settle this. Then you're trespassing, Melissa laughed. You're really going to call the cops on your own kids? If I have to. Linda was already holding her phone. Say the word. They all looked at her, then at me, then at each other. This is insane, Dylan said. No, I replied. This is boundaries. Something you're not used to. Fine, Melissa said. Fine. We'll leave. But don't expect us to come back. I won't. They walked to the door. Dylan stopped, turned back. I don't understand, he said. I really don't. We're your kids. We love you. Why are you doing this? Because you only love me when I'm useful. That's not true. Then prove it. Show me I'm wrong. But do it on your own time, not mine. He opened his mouth, closed it, walked out. The door closed behind them. I heard their car start, heard them drive away. Linda put her phone down. Well, she said, that happened. Yeah. You okay? No. Good. You shouldn't be. We stood there in the entryway. The house was quiet again, but it felt different now, less hollow, more like ours. Coffee? Linda asked. Please. We went to the kitchen. She made coffee. I sat at the table. That was hard, she said. Yeah, but necessary. Was it? Yes. Because now they know you're serious. Now they know you're not just going to cave. What if they don't come back? Then they don't come back, and you'll know exactly where you stood with them all along. I drank my coffee. Thought about what Dylan had said. We're your kids. We love you. Why are you doing this? Because I thought love isn't enough. Not when it only flows one direction, not when it comes with conditions, but I didn't say that out loud. I just sat there, drinking bad coffee in my quiet house, wondering what came next. The next week was strange, quiet, no calls, no texts, no surprise visits. It felt like being in the eye of a hurricane. Calm, but only because the storm was gathering strength. I went to work, came home, worked on projects. Linda and I fell into a new rhythm. Dinners together, evening walks, small conversations about nothing important. It was nice, almost peaceful. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something was building. Thursday evening, Josh called me. Not texted? Called. I almost didn't answer. Then curiosity got the better of me. Hello? Hey, got a minute? Sure. Can we meet somewhere? I don't want to do this over the phone. Do what? Just talk. There's some stuff you should know. We met at a coffee shop downtown, one of those places that tries too hard to be hip. Exposed brick, Edison bulbs, baristas with elaborate tattoos. Josh was already there when I arrived. He looked tired. He'd lost weight. We got coffee, sat at a table in the back. Thanks for meeting me, he said. You said there was stuff I should know. Yeah. He stared into his coffee. Melissa and I broke up. That surprised me. When? 2 days ago. I'm sorry. Don't be. It was coming for a while. He looked up at me. She's been using the situation with you to avoid dealing with us. Every time I tried to talk about our problems, she'd deflect to the drama with you and Dylan. That sounds like Melissa? Yeah, Well, I finally called her on it, told her she couldn't keep using you as a distraction. She didn't like that. What did she say? That I was taking your side, that I was being disloyal, that if I couldn't support her family, I couldn't support her. He laughed bitterly. The thing is, I was supporting her family. I was trying to get her to actually deal with the issue instead of just being angry about it. How did that go? I'm sitting here talking to you instead of her, so not great. We drank our coffee in silence for a minute. There's more, Josh said, and this is the part you really need to know. Okay. Melissa and Dylan are planning something. I don't know exactly what, but they've been talking, coordinating. They're trying to get other family members involved. Like who? Your mom, your brother, some cousins. They're building a case that you're having some kind of breakdown, that you need an intervention. I felt something cold settle in my chest. An intervention. Yeah, they're planning to ambush you. Get everyone together and confront you. Try to force you to apologize and go back to how things were. When? I don't know. Soon, I think. Maybe this weekend? Why are you telling me this? He met my eyes. Because it's wrong. What you said to Melissa about being used. You weren't wrong. I've seen it. I've watched them take advantage of you for years. I just didn't say anything because I thought it wasn't my place. And now? Now I don't care about my place. They're trying to manipulate you, and I think you deserve to know. I sat back in my chair, processed this. What are they planning to say at this intervention? That you're being irrational, that you're pushing everyone away, that you need help, standard intervention stuff. But the goal isn't actually to help you, it's to make you feel guilty enough to go back to being their errand boy. Jesus. Yeah. Do you know where it's supposed to happen? Melissa mentioned doing it at your mom's place. Neutral ground, she said. Somewhere you'd feel obligated to show up. I thought about my mother, about how quickly she'd sided with them, about how she'd told me parents don't get to be the ones who are lost. Thanks for telling me, I said. I'm sorry. I know this is a lot. It's fine. Better to know than be blindsided. We talked for a few more minutes. Josh told me about the breakup, how Melissa had tried to make him choose between her and his principles, how he'd chosen his principles. She'll find someone else, he said, someone who won't push back, someone who'll just go along with whatever she wants. Probably. You know the worst part? I still care about her. I just don't like her very much anymore. I understood that feeling more than he knew. We parted ways in the parking lot. He gave me his new number, said to call if I needed anything. I drove home, told Linda everything. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she was quiet for a long time. They're escalating, she said finally. Yeah, an intervention. That's bold. That's one word for it. What are you going to do? I don't know. Part of me wants to just not show up. Let them sit there waiting. That could work, but then they'll just try again. So what, I go? Let them ambush me? Maybe, but on your terms, not theirs. I looked at her. What do you mean? She smiled. That smile again, the one that meant she had a plan. If they want an intervention, let's give them one, but not the one they're expecting. I'm listening. They want to make you feel guilty. They want to corner you with witnesses. They want to force you to apologize and go back to being useful. Right. So we flip it. You show up. You let them say their piece, and then you turn it around on them with evidence. What evidence? The group chat, the messages, the timeline of every time they asked you for something versus every time they included you in something. You document everything. You make it impossible for them to deny what they've been doing. That's harsh. They're planning to ambush you in front of your entire family. I think a little harshness is warranted. She was right. Of course she was right. When do you think they'll do it? She asked. Josh said maybe this weekend, so probably Saturday or Sunday. Then you have a few days to prepare. Get your evidence together. Practice what you're going to say. And most importantly, don't let them see it coming. The next morning, I started compiling everything. Screenshots of the group chat going back months. Dates and times of every favor they'd asked. Dates of every event they'd planned without me. I made a document, organized it chronologically, made it clear and undeniable. Linda helped. She was better at this kind of thing than I was. She found patterns I'd missed, connections I hadn't seen. By Friday evening, we had a comprehensive timeline. It was damning. You sure you want to do this? Linda asked. You think I shouldn't? I think once you do this, there's no going back. This isn't just setting boundaries. This is war. Maybe I'm tired of trying to make peace with people who don't respect me. Then let's make sure you win. Saturday morning, my phone rang. My mother, I answered. Hello? We're having dinner tomorrow, 6 o'clock. I expect you and Linda to be there. What's the occasion? Does there need to be one? I'm making pot roast. Your favorite. She was a terrible liar. We'll be there, I said. Good. Don't be late. She hung up. Linda raised her eyebrows. Tomorrow? Tomorrow. Are you ready? I looked at the document we'd prepared. All that evidence. All those receipts. Yeah, I said. I think I am. We spent Saturday preparing. Linda made sure I had everything organized. We practiced what I'd say, how I'd handle different objections. By Sunday afternoon, I was as ready as I'd ever be. We got dressed. Nothing fancy, just clean and presentable. At 5:30, we got in the car. Last chance to back out, Linda said. I'm not backing out. Good, because I really want to see their faces when you drop this on them. We pulled up to my mother's house at exactly 6. There were 4 other cars in the driveway. Dylan's, Melissa's, my brother's, my cousin's. Full house, Linda said. They really committed to this. We walked to the door. I could hear voices inside. Laughter. The sound of a family gathering. I rang the doorbell. The voices stopped. My mother opened the door. Her smile was too bright, too forced. You came, she said. You invited us. Come in, come in. We stepped inside. They were all there. Dylan, Melissa, Becca, my brother, Paul, my cousin, Christine, even my Aunt Margaret, who I hadn't seen in 2 years. Everyone turned to look at us. The room went quiet. Hi, everyone, I said calmly. A chorus of greetings. Too enthusiastic. Too synchronized. My mother gestured to the dining room. Dinner's almost ready. Why don't we sit down? We moved to the table. Linda sat next to me. Everyone else arranged themselves around us like we were on trial, which, I supposed, we were. My mother brought out food, pot roast, mashed potatoes, green beans, my favorite meal, like she'd said. The first few minutes were awkward small talk. Weather, work, anything but the elephant in the room. Then Paul cleared his throat. So, he said, we're all here for a reason. Here it comes, I thought. Your mother's worried about you, he continued. We all are. I didn't respond, just kept eating. You've been acting strange lately, Christine added. Distant, angry. That's not like you. We think you're going through something, Paul said, and we want to help. I put down my fork, looked around the table. An intervention, I said. My mother looked startled. We just want to talk. At dinner? With the whole family. On short notice. This is an intervention. Call it what you want, Dylan said. The point is, you're pushing everyone away and we're trying to figure out why. You know why. Because of a group chat? Melissa scoffed. That's ridiculous. Is it? Yes, Paul said. It's a chat. It's not that serious. Then why are we all here? No one answered that. I reached into my jacket pocket, pulled out the folder Linda and I had prepared. I'm glad you're all here, I said, because I have some things I'd like to share. My mother frowned. What is that? Evidence. I opened the folder, started laying out printed screenshots on the table. This is the family group chat, I said. Going back 8 months. You can see here where I was muted. May 14th. I pointed to specific messages. These are conversations about Thanksgiving, about birthdays, about the beach trip. Notice I'm not tagged, not included, not even mentioned except as a joke. I laid out more pages. These are direct messages from Dylan asking me to help move furniture, from Melissa asking me to fix her car, from both of them asking me to babysit their plans while they were too busy for me. Dad, Dylan started. I'm not done. I pulled out another sheet. This is a timeline. On the left, every time one of you asked me for something. On the right, every time one of you invited me to something. Notice the imbalance. The table was silent. 15 times in 6 months you asked me for favors. 0 times you included me in your plans. That's not fair, Melissa said. We invited you to Thanksgiving. You asked me to bring furniture. That's not an invitation. That's a work order. I looked at my mother. And you. You sided with them immediately. Didn't even hear my side. Just assumed I was wrong because parents are supposed to endure. Supposed to accept being treated poorly because it's our job. That's not what I said. It's exactly what you said. I stood up. Linda stood with me. I came here because you demanded it. You wanted to guilt me into going back to how things were. But I'm not interested. I've been used long enough. You're being dramatic, Christine said. Am I? Look at the evidence. Look at the pattern. They muted me. They mocked me. They excluded me. But they kept me around because I'm useful. And when I finally stopped being available, they decided I was the problem. I picked up the folder. You want me to apologize? For what? For having boundaries? For expecting basic respect? I'm not apologizing. And I'm not going back to being your errand boy. We're your family, my mother said. Family doesn't treat each other like this. Then what do you want? Dylan asked. What will it take to fix this? I don't know if it can be fixed, but I know it won't be fixed by an ambush dinner. I turned to leave. Linda followed. If you walk out that door, my mother said, don't expect to come back. I stopped, turned around. That's exactly the problem. You see this as me leaving. But I didn't leave. You pushed me out. You just didn't notice until I stopped pushing back. I walked out, Linda close behind me. We got in the car. I could see them through the dining room window. All standing now, talking, gesturing, probably debating what just happened. That was perfect, Linda said. My hands were shaking. Was it? You said what needed to be said. You showed them exactly what they did, and you didn't apologize for defending yourself. They're going to be furious. Let them be furious. You told the truth. We drove home in silence. When we got there, I went straight to the garage, started working on something, anything. I needed my hands busy. Linda came out an hour later. Your phone's been going off. I figured. Want me to check it? Might as well. She went inside, came back a few minutes later. 42 messages, most from your mom and Dylan, a few from Paul, one from Christine. What are they saying? That you humiliated them, that you ruined dinner, that you're being childish and selfish. Of course. Josh sent you a message too. What did he say? I heard what happened. I'm proud of you. That actually made me smile. Anyone acknowledge that I was right? I asked. No, they're all still focused on how you made them feel, not on what they did to you. I put down my tools, looked at Linda. Did I do the right thing? Do you feel like you did? I don't know. I feel lighter, but also worse. That's normal. You just drew a line. That's never comfortable, but it was necessary. We went inside. I finally checked my phone. The messages were what Linda had described. Anger, accusations, demands that I apologize. But buried in there was one message from Dylan that was different. I looked at the screenshots you left. I didn't realize how bad it was. Can we talk? I stared at that message for a long time. Maybe there was hope. Maybe. But I wasn't ready yet. Not today. I put the phone down. Tomorrow, maybe. Or the day after. But tonight, I was done. Monday, I went back to work like nothing had happened, focused on problems I could actually solve. Conveyor jams, scheduling conflicts, safety inspections. My phone stayed in my locker. At lunch, my supervisor found me in the break room. Someone's looking for you, he said. Who? Your son. He's at the front gate. I almost told him to send Dylan away, but something stopped me. Tell him I'll be there in 10 minutes. I finished my lunch, washed my hands, walked to the security gate. Dylan was standing outside the fence. He looked rough, hair uncombed, same clothes from yesterday. We need to talk, he said. I'm at work. This can't wait. Everything can wait. Dad, please. Something in his voice made me reconsider. He wasn't angry. He was something else. Shaken, maybe. You have 15 minutes, I said. Then I'm going back inside. We walked to the visitor parking area, sat on a bench. I've been up all night, Dylan said, going through the screenshots you showed us, really looking at them. And? You were right, about all of it. I waited. He kept going. I didn't realize how much we'd cut you out, or how often we asked you for stuff. It just became normal. You were always there, always said yes. I stopped thinking about whether we were being fair. Okay. That's all you're going to say? Okay. What do you want me to say? I don't know. Something, anything. I watched a truck pull into the loading bay. Driver got out, started unhooking the trailer. I spent years being available for you, I said. For all of you. I rearranged my schedule, dropped plans, spent money I didn't have, and the whole time you were making jokes about me behind my back. We weren't. You were. I saw the messages, the comments about my clothes, my habits, how I send too many texts. You thought I wouldn't see them, but I did. He rubbed his face. I'm sorry. I really am. That's good, but sorry doesn't fix anything unless you change. I will, I promise. I've heard that before. At Mom's house. The words are easy. It's the follow-through that matters. Then how do I prove it to you? I don't know. That's something you have to figure out. That's not fair. Life's not fair. You taught me that yourself, remember? When you told me I was too sensitive, that I needed to grow up? He flinched. I was angry. So was I. But I didn't tell you to grow up. I just stopped being available. We sat in silence. A freight truck drove past. The noise was almost deafening. Melissa's not handling this well, Dylan said finally. I noticed. She thinks you did all this to embarrass her. The screenshots, the speech, showing up at Mom's house just to drop evidence and leave. I went because Mom demanded it. I know, but Melissa sees it differently. She thinks you set us up, planned the whole thing to make us look bad. Did I need to make you look bad? You did that yourselves. Fair. He pulled out his phone, showed me a message thread. Him and Melissa. She wants to cut you off completely. Says you're toxic, that we're better off without you. Maybe she's right. She's not right. She's hurt. And when Melissa's hurt, she lashes out. That's not my problem. She's my sister, and she's making this harder than it needs to be. How? She's trying to get everyone to take sides. Mom, Paul, Christine, even some cousins I haven't talked to in years. She's building this narrative that you're the villain and we're the victims. Is it working? With some people. Mom's fully on her side. Paul, too. But Christine called me this morning, said she looked at the screenshots again, said she thinks you had a point. That surprised me. She told you that? Yeah. She said it took guts to do what you did, to stand up in front of everyone like that. I didn't feel gutsy. I felt angry. Sometimes anger is the only way to get people to listen. He was right about that. What about Becca? I asked. We broke up. What? When? Yesterday, after we left Mom's house. She said she couldn't be with someone whose family was that dysfunctional. Said it was too much drama. I'm sorry. He laughed bitterly. Don't be. She was looking for an out anyway. This just gave her an excuse. We sat there, watching trucks come and go. The warehouse was a ballet of logistics. Everything timed, everything coordinated, unlike my family. I want to fix this, Dylan said. Tell me how. I told you, figure it out. That's not helpful. It's not supposed to be helpful. It's supposed to make you think. About what? About what you actually want. Do you want me back because you miss me, or because it's easier when I'm around to help? Both. At least you're honest. So what do I do? Start small. Show up without needing something. Call to see how I'm doing. Not to ask for favors, just to talk. That's it? That's a start. He stood up. I can do that. We'll see. I'm serious. I'm going to do better. Okay. You don't believe me. I want to, but words are cheap. Then watch. I'll prove it. He walked back to his car. I watched him drive away. When I got back inside, my supervisor was waiting. Everything okay? Getting there. Family stuff? Yeah. Want my advice? Sure. Set your boundaries and stick to them. The people who respect you will adjust. The ones who don't aren't worth your time. That simple? That's simple. He walked away. I went back to work. That evening, Linda asked how it went with Dylan. He apologized. And I told him apologies aren't enough. Good. He says he wants to fix things. Let's see if he follows through. You don't think he will. I think he means it in the moment, but old habits are hard to break, especially when the whole family is still enabling the old behavior. She was probably right. My phone buzzed. A message from Christine. Can we talk? I want to apologize for yesterday. I showed Linda. Interesting, she said. You think it's genuine? Only one way to find out. I called Christine. She answered on the first ring. Hey, she said. Thanks for calling back. You said you wanted to talk. Yeah. Look, I've been thinking about what you said yesterday and what you showed us, and you were right. Okay. I'm serious. I went back and looked at the group chat. Really looked at it. And it was worse than I realized. The way they talked about you. The way they just excluded you from everything. Why are you telling me this? Because I was part of it. Not actively, but I saw what was happening and I didn't say anything. I just went along with it because it was easier. So you're apologizing? Yes. But also warning you. Melissa's not done. She's planning something. I don't know what. But she's been making calls, talking to people, building support. For what? I'm not sure, but it's not good. She's really angry. And when Melissa gets angry, she gets creative. Thanks for the warning. We talked for a few more minutes. She asked about Linda, about work. Normal conversation. It felt strange. When I hung up, Linda was watching me. Melissa's planning something, I said. Of course she is. That's what she does. She can't win the argument, so she'll try to win through other means. What do you think she'll do? Something public, something designed to embarrass you or paint you as unstable. Great. You knew this wasn't over? I hoped it might be. Hope is nice, but prepare for the worst. The rest of the week was quiet. Too quiet. Like the moment before a storm. Dylan texted me twice. Once to share an article he thought I'd like. Once to ask how my day was going. Small things, but they were something. Melissa didn't contact me at all. My mother called once. I let it go to voicemail. Deleted it without listening. Friday evening, Josh called. You have plans tomorrow? He asked. Not really. Why? Because Melissa's throwing a party. She's inviting the whole extended family, and I think it's a trap. What kind of trap? The kind where she gets everyone together and paints you as the villain. Public opinion, social pressure, all that. She invited you? She doesn't know we've been talking. She thinks I'm still on her side. Are you going? That depends. Do you want me to go? I could be your eyes and ears. I thought about it. What would you do? Record everything. Take notes. Make sure if she tries to spread lies, you have evidence to counter it. That's sneaky. That's survival. He had a point. Do it, I said. But be careful. If she finds out you're feeding me information, I'll be fine. I know how to be subtle. We hung up. I told Linda. A party, she said. That's bold. She's gathering witnesses, building her version of the story. Then maybe we should crash it. I looked at her. Are you serious? Why not? Show up uninvited. Make her deal with you in front of everyone. Turn her own tactic against her. That's risky. Everything's risky at this point. She was right. Again. Saturday morning, Josh sent me the details. The party was at 2, at a park downtown, pavilion rental, catered food. Melissa had really committed to this. Linda and I spent the morning preparing. Not with documents this time, just mentally. What's the goal? Linda asked. Show up. Be calm. Don't let her control the narrative. And if she attacks you? I stay calm. I don't engage. I let her show everyone who she really is. That could backfire. Maybe, but I'm tired of hiding. We got to the park at 2:30, fashionably late. The pavilion was crowded. Maybe 30 people, family, friends, Melissa's people. She saw us immediately. Her face went white, then red. We walked over. What are you doing here? She said. Heard there was a party, thought we'd stop by. You weren't invited. It's a public park. I don't need an invitation. People were starting to notice. Conversation stopped. Everyone turned to watch. Melissa recovered quickly, put on a smile. Well, since you're here, let me introduce you to everyone. This is my father, the one I've been telling you all about. Her tone was sweet. Too sweet. Poisonous. The one who walked out on our family dinner, she continued. The one who decided his hurt feelings were more important than his relationship with his children. I didn't react, just stood there, calm. She kept going. He showed up at my grandmother's house last week with a folder of screenshots, printed evidence of how terrible we all are, because apparently he's been keeping score. Melissa, someone started. No, let me finish. My father is going through something, a crisis maybe, or maybe he's just finally showing his true colors. Either way, he's decided we're not worth his time anymore. She looked at me. Do you have anything to say? I met her eyes. I'm just here to see my family. Your family? You mean the family you accused of using you? The family you humiliated in front of everyone? I didn't humiliate anyone. I told the truth. Your truth, your version of events, conveniently leaving out all the times we were there for you. Like when? She blinked. What? Name one time in the past year that you were there for me, one time you helped me with something I didn't ask for. She opened her mouth, closed it. The crowd was silent, watching, waiting. That's what I thought, I said quietly. I turned to leave. Linda followed. Behind us, I heard Melissa's voice crack. Don't you dare walk away from me. I stopped, turned back. I'm not walking away from you, Melissa. I walked away from being used. There's a difference. You're unbelievable. You really think you're the victim here? I don't think I'm anything. I just know what I'm not anymore. And I'm not your errand boy. Someone in the crowd started clapping. Slow, deliberate. I looked over. It was Josh. Melissa turned on him. What are you doing? Clapping. He's right, and you know it. Get out. Gladly. Josh walked over to us. Want some company? Sure. The three of us walked away. Behind us, I could hear Melissa crying, someone trying to comfort her, the party dissolving into whispers and speculation. That was brutal, Josh said when we reached the parking lot. She brought it on herself, Linda replied. Still, she's going to be destroyed after this. Maybe, or maybe she'll finally learn something. We stood there for a moment. The park was beautiful, sunny, birds singing. It seemed wrong that something so ugly had just happened in such a nice place. What now? Josh asked. Now we go home, I said, and we see what happens next.